Hello students, this is Professor Faiz Raut from Jain College of Engineering, Department of MBA. This is the lecture of Strategic Management. I'm in Module 5. In the previous session, we had started Module 5. I have completed the first part, which is Strategic Implementation. Just the steps of implementation I had covered. In this session, I'll be going and explaining regarding the organizational structure, the leadership, and the organizational culture. Okay, then after this, in the next session we'll be starting with strategy and innovation, and remaining things about innovation. Okay, so it will be a pretty much a small lecture. It will be a part 2 of module 5. In the previous models, as from the first model we understood the strategy. Second model we talked about the external environment which the business needs to consider. In the third module we talked about the internal resources, capacities of the companies, which they are good into. They need to analyze that. And then in the fourth module there were various kinds of strategies which were designed, which were produced, yeah, which were produced, that can be implemented by the companies. So we studied about the various strategies. So from that, after that, in fifth module, we used those things from the second, third, and fourth module. And then after deciding what strategy to implement, the company will begin with the implementation process. And we studied regarding the seven key steps in the implementation process. Okay, by setting the clear goals, determining the roles and responsibilities, then delegating the work to the employees, then executing the plan, monitoring how the process is happening and what is the performance of each and every individual or each or every team, and then how to provide continued support. Okay, that also plays an important role. And then if anything is not going as per the plan, and if the output is not as expected, then management need to take some corrective action, some revision, some necessary changes needs to be done, and then the closure of the project will be done. And then when the project closed, when the work needs to be stopped, and what is the desired output needs to be attained, that has been undecided. And then finally, a review should happen of kind of a feedback session from the people who have worked on the project or worked on making the product or delivering the services. They need to sit together. Then they need to discuss what difficulties they faced, what are the challenges they were there, and how they overcome that challenges, so that when that same process or similar process is being carried out next time, there can be improvement in those processes. Okay, so these were the seven steps of implementation which we discussed in the previous class. In this class, when you are executing this, you are implementing this strategic management processes. Okay, while implementing the process, you need to take care, or the management need to take care about how the organizational structure is. Okay, what is the structure of organization, how the communication happens between the employees, the management, the top management, the workers, how the communication happens, what kind of structure is there in an organization. Because in a startup there will be a different kind of a structure, for a multinational company there will be different kind of structure, a company which has been there from past 50 years working and manufacturing one kind of product, they will be having different kinds of structure. So every company will have a different kind of structure, and for that matter, one company in one location will have a different kind of structure, and another location might have a different kind of structure. That can also be possible. So when there is an decision being made about executing some strategy, then the company needs to take care about how the structure is. Okay, so that will be determined, how your strategic process will flow. And then along with the structure, we'll also study about the culture of the organization. Okay, what kind of culture, because every organization will have a different kind of culture, how the people behave with each other, or how what is the environment basically of the office of the organization, that tells you about the culture. Okay, so structure and culture, these two are again the thing which needs to be taken care while implementing the strategy. Okay, so to begin with the organizational structure, an organizational structure is a system that outlines how certain activities are directed in order to achieve the goals of the organization. These activities include rules, roles, and responsibilities. The organizational structure also determines how information flows between levels, different levels within the company. For example, in a centralized structure, okay, if the company has a centralized structure, decisions will flow from top to down. That means the top management will take some decisions that will be communicated uh, to the managers, the senior managers. Then the senior managers will be communicating that same thing to various managers, and then various managers will be communicating it to the various employees. Okay, so that's how the flow will be there. But while in a decentralized structure, decision making power is distributed among various levels of the organization. Okay, so the decision making power in decentralized structure will be there with everyone. Okay, in their domain they will be deciding what needs to be done. In a centralized structure, the decision will be taken by the top management, and it will just be communicated, and depending upon that, the lower level will need to make the changes. In decentralized structure, the goal will be same. Definitely the goal of the organization will be there, but that goal for that goal, various departments will have the power to decide how they will be achieving their individual goals, so that the main goal can be achieved of that organization. So there are various structures. The basic difference between the structure is centralized or decentralized organization structure. Okay, so as the name suggests, centralized structure will be generally in the organization which are well established, and which don't have their businesses spread across. Okay, they will not have too many businesses. It will not be a conglomerate. It will not be doing various kinds of manufacturing various kinds of products. They will be manufacturing a few products, very similar products. They will be primarily into one industry, and then that organization will be a very stable, and as per the rules, and whatever the rules and regulations are there, it is being followed from very very long time. It is well established organization, so generally that kind of organization will be a centralized organization. Okay, but when an organization will have its business, I'm talking about decentralized now. When an organization will have its businesses across various industries, if that organization is into FMCG, if that company is into FMCG manufacturing products, if that organization is also into jewelry, okay, if that organization is also into power, okay, so if this kind of businesses units are there into various industries, then it is difficult to have a centralized person who will be taking decisions of everything, of FMCG also, and for jewelry also, and into power and steel or anything, if they are there. So in that kind of organization, you will have a decentralized structure. Every business unit will take its own decision. Okay, so that is what it is. And then there are various kinds of types of organizational structure. Even in organized sorry centralized and decentralized, there are various structure which the organization follows. There can be a functional structure. Okay, functional structure, as the name suggests, it is more like centralized structure. It will be a bureaucratic kind of organization. The It is mainly for the small to medium sized businesses. They are manufacturing similar kind of products into only into one industry. So they will be dividing that into various departments. So a marketing department will be there, sales department will be there, operations department will be there, finance department will be there. So the entire work of entire finance of the entire organization will be done by that department. Entire marketing of that company will be done by the marketing department. Sales will be done by one department. So when you divide departments, and your entire company is divided into departments, then you are basically following the functional structure. Okay, then division on multi-divisional structure. In this case, if you are having a huge organization, very large company, and with many businesses, then you need to divide your business units, and then you need to give a basic objective, that to attain maybe 50% of the market share in 5 years. Maybe you have decided that kind of vision, and then you divided that work throughout your various business units. And then you're working. Okay, a pretty good example of this structure is Johnson and Johnson. Johnson and Johnson produces thousands of product and lines of business. The company structure itself, so each business unit operates on its own in the company. And another example can be Tata or Reliance. Reliance Industries Limited will have too many products and different lines of businesses. They are into power, they are into textiles, they are into petroleum, they are into jewelry again, and they are into telecom, so various kinds of business. So every division will have their own, what do you say, structure. Okay, then the third one is about team based. Okay, team based uh, is the functional structure, sorry, the team based structure is divided as per the product which they are manufacturing or the particular function which they have been assigned. Okay, so in one team, in one company itself, there can be in one company there will be one team. That team will be working on some certain kind of project. So for that project, they might be requiring finance people, marketing people, operations people, research people, okay, and maybe software engineers also. So that one team will be having everyone. Okay, they'll not be a department or something like that, but it will be a one team which is a combination of every domain's expert. They might be doing certain project. So for that, it is a team based. Okay, so there might be a company where there are various projects, and you have divided them as per the projects, and you have made a team like that. Okay, so in every team there will be some people for finance, some people for software. Okay, so like that. Fourth is about the flat structure. It is basically a horizontal structure. Horizontal in the sense that everyone is doing everything in that. Okay, generally it happens in startups. May there will be few people who you can count it in your hands, might be lesser, in two digits, maybe 50 people or so. So everyone is basically involved into almost everything. Like in my first organization, we are only three people were there for one team, three other there for another team. So we were actually coordinating with each every team, and sometimes we used to do the work of other team as well. Okay, so we need to have a, what do you say, multi tasking kind of a thing, or multi-level knowledge we need to have. If I'm looking for imports of the products, then also I need to have a check on the export, how it is happening, or the billing, how it is happening, how the shipping happening. So everything I'll be doing that in terms of if there is a need or so. So in a flat structure, a person will be doing almost everything. It generally happens in small organization where the work is not uh, too much. Okay, and the people are very less, so that's the reason it is there in startups, the flat structure. And the fifth one is about the matrix structure. In matrix structure, well, it is not followed in many organizations, because matrix structure is that it is a combination. It is a kind of a zigzag structure, and everything is connected from here to here, here to here, here to here, then from here, then here, like that. It will be a kind of a mesh. Okay, a spider's web or something like that. It will be representing something like that, a matrix structure, because everyone can approach anyone. Okay, the employee can approach a ceo. He can talk to ceo directly, and then ceo can call any senior manager and he can ask something. Then senior manager can go to the ceo, and sometimes manager can also going to see. Everyone is talking, everyone is interacting with each other. So the duties are pretty much shared. Okay, in a matrix structure, I'm doing sales, sometimes I'm doing customer service, sometimes I'm doing marketing, I'm sitting with the advertising team also. So I'm into many things in a matrix structure. Generally it is not followed by many. It looks similar to flat structure, but flat structure everyone is involved into everything. In matrix structure everyone is not involved into everything, everyone is communicating with everything, everyone. ठीक है. Okay, chalo. Then a circular structure, it is basically a kind of hierarchical. Okay, uh, on the basis of ranks, that the shop floor employee is communicating um, to the head workman, and then he's communicating to the employee, and then senior manager, then senior manager, something like that. And then sometimes the top level manager is also communicating with the shop floor employee or something like that. So at a higher level manager, higher level employees, and the manager is the center of the organization. Everything is kind of a concentric rings. Okay, you understand what is concentric rings? I'll just Okay, so concentric rings, it will be the CEO will be in the middle. Okay, and then it will be something like this. Okay, the head of the organization is communicating with everyone, and these people, okay, they are communicating with everyone here. Okay, they'll not be in a specific team or so. ऐसा कुछ team नहीं रहेगा, but it will be communication in this ring, in this rings. ठीक है. So that is about circular structure. And then about the last is about network structure. It is network is built when there are third parties, or the products which are being manufactured is given to uh, outside vendors, and then the communication with them, and within the organization there will be a network built uh, in the organization, and the outside employees or outside vendors. So if that is a kind of a thing, then it is called as a network structure. Okay, so these are the different kinds of structures of an organization. Okay, so there are seven, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 structures are there. If so these kinds of structure determined what kind of strategy and how the strategy will be implemented. Because if there is a maybe a network structure, then there will be a different kind of strategy implementation will be there, and different strategy will be selected. And if there is a kind of a flat structure where everyone is doing almost everything, then different kind of strategy will be used. Okay, so depending upon that, the strategy will be selected about the depending upon the different kind of structure, different kind of strategy can be selected. The same goes for the corporate culture also. Now, what is a culture? It is basically what are the shared values, how the values is been there, what kind of working attitude is there in the company, how the employees behave with themselves, what are the traditions, some events are organized in the company, and some sports activity which has been conducted in the company, the behavior of the employees, the work practices which are accepted, the styles of operating, the way of communicating, whether if the people are calling by their first name, or there are cabins, or there are only the desk where the people are working, how the holiday system is there, in which way the salary system is been designed, or incentives are given. So whatever the culture is there, the environment is there of the organization, that also plays an important role when determining the strategy. Okay, so some key features of corporate culture is, you can just go through, uh, because when employee joins a company, okay, and when a new employee joins a company, a fresher joins a company, it is pretty much new for everything is new for him. Okay, the values, the way the corporate works, because from the college life, when you are entering into corporate for the first time, the corporate life will be totally different. Okay, for you, no matter from where you are coming. Then the corporate life is how the time management is done, the work, how they are doing, and everything. In one corporate, it will be one company, it will be different, and you might go to some another company, the working style is different, the way people are communicating, how you need to do, whether the communication happens through Skype, or you need to send a email for every small thing, and how it is happening. Okay, some in some important processes, you need to keep your cell phones uh, outside, or something like that. So every company will be different. Okay, so in this case, the values, the business principles, the ethical standards. Okay, sometimes there are few companies where it is allowed to lie to the customer. There are some companies who their core values of the companies are trustworthiness. So in those companies you are not allowed to lie to the customers. Okay. And then there are various policies, different policies, different procedures. The atmosphere of the company will be different, the work climate will be different, the way managers interact with employees, with the co-workers. There can be a different dress code in certain companies. Like in my first company, the formals were pretty much compulsory on every days. Only on Fridays we were allowed to have t-shirts, but basically informal. Okay, but in the second company we were allowed informals throughout all the days. Only during meetings and only during certain kind of interviews, or if there is any visit from outside, we used to have we were compulsory made to wear formals. Okay. So everything will be different, and dress code can be different. And then there can be a strength of peer pressure to do the work in a particular way. Peer pressure is when you are there in a team, the working style of that team is of in certain way. Okay, and then when you're in the team and the working style is different, then the team will put your pressure, kind of a pressure on you, that you need to do the work in this way itself. This is how it is done in our team. So the peers will be putting a kind of a pressure, uh, and the strength of that peer pressure determines how you do that thing in a particular way. Okay. And then the other things are there, and in the manner in which the company deals with the external stakeholders, how the company behaves with the customers, the suppliers, the vendors. Okay, so how they deal with them, that determines the culture of the organization. And how this culture is um, oh sorry and how the what is the importance of corporate culture for strategic execution process. There are three things which has been mentioned. If the culture of an organization is very much matched with the strategy which is chosen by the top management, if the culture is matching with the chosen strategy, then it will be very easy to implement that strategy in that organization, because everyone is well aware there is no much changes done, slight changes in strategy, because changing the culture of the organization is a huge task for the HR and for everyone for that matter. It is a huge task. So if you are bringing the strategy which is in line with the corporate culture which you are following, then it is easy for the strategy to be implemented. Okay. And then once your culture induce peer pressure, okay, further induces company person to do things in a manner that aids the cause of good strategy execution. And if the culture and the strategy are in line, then it is easier for the management to make sure that this strategy gets implemented in the company, because it is in line with the culture. So, and the peer pressure will be the peer pressure just now, which what I explained. Your team will make sure that everyone is following that strategy, everyone is trying to implement the strategy, no one is opposing that. So that kind of a peer pressure will be there. Okay? So the stronger the culture of any organization, it is easier for work to be done. Okay. No matter you are giving incentives, you're giving some bonuses to the employees, but if the culture is not strong enough, it will be quite difficult to implement that strategy. Okay. And then a company culture is that is consistent with the requirements of good strategy execution can energize the employees to do the work in a better way, and deepen their commitment to execute the strategy flawlessly. Okay, without any error, they'll be doing the work to execute the strategy and enhance the productivity in the process. The employee will be happy, and then he'll be feeling that it is my work and we I need to complete it. It is not just a task given to me. Okay, if he feels like that, then it is easier for a strategy to be executed. So this is how the culture and the structure both plays a role in a strategic execution process. It is not just the numerical terms, it is also the psychological concepts, the structure and the culture, the psychological concepts, the HR concepts, which is basically which you will be which you are studying, how the HR needs to handle this. He needs to maintain the culture, he needs to so that's the reason in many companies there are every week there are some events Yeah, every year there are some big events which the where every employee interact with every other employee of the company. There are parties and everything. So that is how a culture is built among the employees. So if that kind of oneness, belongingness is there among the employees, if any change is being implemented, any strategy needs to be executed, any process needs to be changed, then it is easier for the employees to accept it. So along with giving incentives, uh, you need to have to build a kind of environment of the business. Okay. Okay, so this is about leadership in strategic execution process. What is the leader plays how the leader plays a role in strategic execution process, because leader has decided what kind of strategy needs to be implemented, what will be the goals, and where we have to reach. So for that, the leader should take an initiative in implementing the strategy. And how his leadership plays a role in strategic execution process, because if the implementation is not happening properly, if there are certain issues and challenges while implementing the strategy, a leader should always pitch in to resolve those issues, and make sure that employees are satisfied and happy in order to matlab, reach the goals. Okay, so for an enterprise to execute its strategy a truly proficient fashion and approach operating excellence, top executives have to take the lead in strategy implementation process and personally drive the pace of the process. They have to be out in the field seeing for themselves how well the operations are going. Okay, if they are doing the hard work, if leader is coming and checking the work, and if he is also participating in the work, then definitely the employees will be pretty much energized, and they will be also doing the work. Okay, and if there are issues, he himself will be identifying that. Employees no need to give kind of a complaint, or don't need to reach to the leader in order to get the issues solved, the challenges to overcome. Okay, and so there must be constructive, unrelenting pressure on organization units. Okay, if the leader satisfies the various things, then the pressure of organization units, this can be overcome. To demonstrate excellence in all dimensions of strategy execution, to do so on a consistent basis. So consistency plays an important role, and then ultimately that's what will enable a well crafted strategy to achieve the desired performance result. Okay, so the demonstrate how the strategy needs to be executed, and it needs to be done on consistent basis, then you will be able to reach the goal which you have designed. So a leader will have these three things should have: staying on top of what is happening and closely monitoring the process, mobilizing the effort for excellence in strategy execution, and then initiating corrective actions to improve strategy execution and achieve targeted performance result. These three things if we do, will complete the leadership part. Okay, staying on top of what is happening and closely monitor the processes. When you have given the task to the workers, they are working, you need to keep on monitoring. It is not that you need to a leader should always keep a check how the worker is performing, but the work should be monitored in such a way that the employee should not feel the pressure that continuously my work is continuously someone is coming and checking my work. He should also not feel like that. But if he is on the right track or not, that needs to be monitored by the leader, because the leader should show interest in order to get the business done, get the work done. Okay, and one of the example of Jeff Bezos, the Amazon CEO, he used to have a technique which is called as MBWA, which is managing by walking around. He used to walk around Jeff Bezos used to walk around the workstations of different employees, and he used to talk directly with them, spend time working with them, with various colleagues, workers. They used to spend, and then they used to have a oneness, some belongingness. They used to tell the issues, or some minor changes which can be done to improve the processes. Directly he used to get it from the employees. So when the hierarchy is being broken in such a way, when the hierarchy is broken in such a way, it is easier for the CEO to understand how the lower level is working. So when a leader have a grip on the ground, as we say, if the if the leader have a grip on the ground, it is easier for him to take decisions. Sitting on the top, he don't need to listen to some people who will be reporting to him. He knows how the ground reality is. If that is done, then it is then the leader has succeeded in this, and the strategy can be implemented efficiently. And then the second one is about mobilizing the effort for excellence and strategic execution. So manager have to be out front in mobilizing the effort. Like, they need to be a part of it, like Ratan Tata did when he announced Nano will be somewhere around 1 lakh of rupees. And then there was a target set for the company that the production of Nano, at least the basic model, should be of 1 lakh of rupees. So Ratan Tata told that he needs to be added. You make the strategy, you plan everything, and include me in the planning process. So I'll be as a part uh, of managing how the Nano should be manufactured, how efficiently that vehicle can be rolled out. Okay, so when the manager or when the top management becomes a part and of the effort, and they are doing the work, and they are also sitting along with the employees, then it will motivate the other employees in order to work efficiently, and the results which they give, okay, high performance attitude will come, high performance culture will be done in such kind of leadership. Okay, because when you're treating it goes when you're treating your employees as valued partners, okay, not just the employees. When skillfully use people management practices to build the moral, foster pride in doing things right, okay, you're boosting your employees morale. Then you're using empowerment to help create a fully engaged workforce, setting stretch objectives, clearly communicating them what are the things. And then finally, using full range of motivational techniques. You need to basically keep on motivating your employees, uh, along with providing some incentives to inspire, like employee of the month or something like that. A leader should do all those things, okay, so that your employees are always have a better performances. And then the final thing a leader should do is about leading the process of making corrective adjustments. Okay, uh, if the leader finds that whatever is happening, okay, the processes which are the employees are doing every day, they are coming and working, and if after the working which they have done, the performance which is expected is not happening as per the expectation, the results which are getting is not as expected, then the leader should step in, come forward, interact with employees, check how the process is happening, why the result is not happening, go to the bottom of the problem, identify the problem, and then do some corrective adjustments. Okay, because identifying the problem, getting to the bottom of it, plays an important role how the correction can be done. If anything wrong which is happening, they need to correct that, so that the process come in line, and then it can be implemented successfully. So success in making corrective action hinges on thorough analysis of the situation. Okay, how the situation, how it has come till here, why it has come till here. Okay, after analysis, then exercise the good business judgment in deciding what actions to take. When you have identified the situation where the problem lies, then you need to take some corrective actions, what can be done, and then you implement that, of that corrective actions that are initiated. Okay, successful managers are skilled in getting an organization back on track rather quickly. Okay, yeah, the work should not stop for a longer period of time, then you will not be able to achieve your within time, the target will not be achieved. Then the successful managers are some that they will be identifying the problem very fast, and then they'll be doing the corrective actions, and then they'll be bringing that thing back on track. Okay, so that is how a leader should be. Okay, and the next is about strategic execution. This definitely we'll be doing in the next class.